who you trust and the news is fake.
Well, it's difficult.
And when a guy who's a literal president, who is Donald Trump, says, no, the news is fake, and you're like, okay. So this guy's just there doing his thing. They're saying it's fake.
Yeah.
They're trying to defend themselves not being fake, but proving themselves often to be fake.
And nothing that you could watch as evidence to support it won't not lead you to something else that might be either complete contradictory of,
Yeah.
or just more bullshit. Like, it's all designed like one big algorithm just to program you to being, I don't know, like ferocious against one or other of the sides.
Yeah.
It makes you like this.
But it's like the propaganda that people get fed.
Just everyday bullshit that gets put out there fuels the fire, makes someone.
But it is very one side for some reason.
It's a two-side system. It's easier to control like two different groups of people than like five.
Fair enough. So they all just separate into their squads. They're like, okay, I'm this party, I'm this party, I'm this party. We deal with these people, you deal with these people.
Same as our country. Whenever you ever seen like any of those smaller parties make it to like even provincial, they won't. You know why? Because there's too few people that even vote for them. That even if you voted for them, it doesn't get them on the board.
Exposure and understanding as well. Like, let's say now during COVID, Cyril would have to deal with things like talking to all of the different provincial leaders to deal with a plan to do things. So we have international problems or this and that, where everyone has to comply with each other. And like actually listen to whoever's in power. Because then the thing is, when you get something like America, when one state's like, no, I'm not going to take part in that. Now the one, like what actual plan are you setting forward to get something like done?
I don't know. But
if they don't actually trust the leader.
Like America's too big to even have like one president. That's where you're very close to like a one world government, but it's like one huge landmass controlled by one guy. I mean, Texas is not bigger than South Africa.
I don't know. I've seen on Joe Rogan once they said that they could put everyone in Texas.
Jeez, dude.
Or something like that.
It's probably another rabbit hole thing, or maybe not, dude. But if even one of their
the whole population of America can fit in Texas or something.
I don't know, dude.
But like also that's huge. Like some of those states are bigger than South Africa, dude.
Yeah, but we've only got one guy running our show.
Yeah.
They've got one guy running their whole show. They just got 50-some states.
I don't believe one guy should be given that much power as well. It's a shit show. There's no. I don't think
pressure on anyone.
The thing is, I don't think that no one can like do it or try do it. Okay, try do it. I think is a better word. But the actual job role of what it is doesn't actually comply properly with society in the way it's evolved into what it is now. Maybe like fucking 50 years ago, 100 years ago, but now, no.
I think it's because
you can't control that many people.
Accumulated. That's the thing. I don't believe in a central form of accumulative power. I think anything should happen at the lowest of levels. That's where the decision should be made.
Or people on the ground.
People on the ground. I don't need to be calling the government to come fix the pothole in my road.
Or call them and they just come and sort of cover it.
Sort of cover it, and then that's my tax money. They paid for that guy to come.
Although I will give them props for the highways. The highways have been proper. Like, I feel safe on the highways.
You want to talk about the whole 2010 thing. We were supposed to have these roads finished, and 4 years after they weren't even. I mean, and then that brings up the whole Sanrail thing.
No, that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not going to talk about.
Roads are a shit show. South African roads are a shit show. But that's because power is centralized. You're going to call the one main man to come and fix it instead of having like competitors or locals in your community that are there to actively make the decision. Like, okay, we need to fix the potholes in our area. This is what we government funding for this month. We're fixing the potholes. Next month, okay, one or two of the lights are out. That's what we're doing. Plus, the kids' park, one or two of the swings and shit is broken. That's what we're fixing.
Yeah.
That's where the mentality should be.
That's the thing is, I've actually spoken to people about this before, and they say this is what causes striking and things like that as well, weirdly enough, is when people are somewhat forgotten. So let's say there is a president now, and then they have to deal with this problem, that problem, this problem. Yes, there is the parliament, yes, there is all the different, but they're not actually dealing with community problems, and those guys get forgotten.
They're not dealing with that crowd.
And then problems. When people are forgotten, they lose their shit and start going ham.
No,
to get attention, because what you do when you don't. Like, that's, like, I don't say it's a good idea, but I'm just saying that
what do you do
some
to get
folks are
attention
struggling
somewhere where
Yeah.
power is completely central? Like, all you can do is rebel. That's the only option you have.
Yeah.
No one
Well,
else is
yeah,
going
we
to listen.
get it a lot for housing here in this country. People fighting for housing, and then they'll go to one community that made the most noise or there, but like, we have done quite well with housing as well for being in Africa,
Yeah.
like as a country, but
Yeah,
we
also
still probably could
doesn't
be
help our
doing better
population
if there wasn't
climbs
corruption
faster
as
than we
well.
can
Well,
use
and
tax.
population.
Population is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just still, I'm very for the whole, I should be making the decision. Well, not me, like, I just feel like I should have a say when it comes time to decide what are we going to be spending money on in our community. At any moment, it should be a communal decision.
Yeah.
We should get to decide so that we know it benefits everyone. Like,
Yeah.
one guy
The
visiting
thing is
from out
that
of town doesn't need to have a say in what goes on in my community, but I'm sure he'll appreciate our roads not being fucked.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. I want to know that when that delivery truck bringing my food from wherever it's coming from across the way doesn't have to encounter potholes and shit along the way.
Yeah.
Therefore, we make
But
sure
then-
the roads are kept. Like in cars,
But that also comes down to people and their ability
who was
to agree
fixing
with each other.
Who was fixing the roads?
Because
in
how
cars,
often do
dude?
people disagree as well?
Dude, they disagreed in cars, but at the end they fixed the road, dude. You know why he fixed the road? Because that's what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
He fucked up the road, but it was a metaphor. The roads were always fucked. He just had to see how fucked the roads were. So he had to break the road, and then he had to fix it. And the process of fixing it is always more difficult, dude, because you got to change your view.
Mm.
And that's what he did, dude. Over the course of the movie, he wore that oak down. He changed his entire mentality into fixing the road. He wasn't so worried about the potholes anymore. He was more worried about fixing the road.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Kids' movies.
Yeah, no, some of them are power and some of them are just weird. But also, as an animator, I know a lot of people have done this, so I don't know, like, who's the guy behind making these, dude?
There's some guy with his wizardry and like 10 levels of depth into it.
Well, it's not one guy, it's gigantic teams for those kind of things, yeah. But yeah.
Shit, dude.
But yeah, as far as the like power thing goes, I definitely don't think it's a good idea for one person to have that power.
It's too much responsibility.
Like just to,
it's not right. It's not natural.
It's not natural. That's the thing. Is
like
like
one great mass where like one thing is like I am in
yeah.
charge.
Well, that's the thing is in tribal times it would make sense. Like at the beginning when they're talking about shamans or something, like one guy would sort of lead the
How
tribe.
big is your tribe? That's the thing.
That's the thing is when it's a couple really strong, how the fuck?
Nah,
Like
there's no way.
yeah, dude.
By the time I say one thing to this guy and that word of mouth even gets to the oak at the end, in fact, it's not even the same message. It's gone.
But then that's the thing is that's what kind of like oh, this other camera stopped. I'm turn that back on.
That was it. Wow.
But anyway, like another thing is fuck, we got kind of distracted from it. What were we saying?
Decentralized power, fixing buildings.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
No, it's like a yeah, how do you actually get a community to agree with each other though? That's what the kind of a president was meant to be, is you vote together for someone who'd speak on your behalf that you trusted.
You shouldn't be the decision
But
maker,
then-
you should be the mediator.
Yes.
That's it. It shouldn't be the guy that stands
actually,
up and makes the decision. It should be the guy that presents all options so that everyone feels the decision is fair.
Or you can actually sit down with the people and then speak on behalf of the people.
We have the swings that are broken, we
Bullshit.
have the potholes, and we have the lights that are. Do you prefer that we fix the potholes now so that even in the dark you don't hit a pothole without the lights being on and your kids just stay away from the swings? Then we know there's no potholes. Cool. Then the next month we fix the lights. Now you can see where we've repaired the distances. And then the next month, for your kids to be able to go back to the park, bang, we're fixing the swings. Makes sense, dude.
Yeah.
And that logically to anyone, like you said, how often has it come down to if you sit and explain something to someone, they understand.
Yeah.
But if you just give them like
well, that's like even like the explanation of Anarchy by Michael Malice. You watched it as well.
Yeah.
That was crazy, dude. Just to think of it like that, and you're just like
Anarchy is that everyone gets a say.
I used to think it was some satanic evil thing just because of the word. But then when you hear the way he explains it, it's actually, I'm not saying it's the most logical option, but it's like, it seems quite logical.
No, it seems logical. Because it's so far from the common norm, it's so far from this thing that we've just accepted as the way we're supposed to live. That you just wait for that guy to tell you what's happening, and then when you've got a problem, you've got to call these people because you can't do anything about it. You've got to wait for his people to come and help you, maybe, because we're in one of those countries. We don't have people that just show up to help us. You're more likely to have a private security company get there first.
Yeah.
And then you've got some guy partially trained with a firearm there to show up and defend your life. My man.
Yeah.
It's a wild world, bro.
But also, that's when it comes down to skill and training with all of those things. And the thing is, like...
Bro, did you see that video I shared just the other day? The guys in the cash and transit van?
Yeah, that was
super calm.
Madness.
How crazy was that?
Dude, there's even a picture of him being that guy in the Matrix, dude.
Neo style. Like
no, not Neo, dude. What's that other guy? The guy in the suit always. He looks like the one guy in the suit. Agent Smith.
Agent Smith.
Dude, go look at a picture of that. Dude. I saw a meme, dude.
He actually does look. I can remember.
I was like, this guy's a ninja, dude.
Wow, dude.
But yeah, dude. Shout out to that guy for getting out of
that guy, dude. Staying alive.
Well, both of those guys, dude.
Having the nerve to sit that calm through that whole thing, man, and watching like where you're sitting, bullets just fly up against the glass.
It's crazy.
Wow, shit.
It's crazy. That's a level of skill that's like crazy to me, dude. Like focus to lock in despite all of that.
But I don't think everyone has that, and that's the problem. I feel like there's people that should be doing that, but then I feel like there's some people that are just doing that for money because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. That's the thing is there's some people that are like inherently better with that sort of a skill or stronger
like
or better
cops have that skill. And the cops that do have that skill, my man, they're protecting you and me. They're out there protecting El Presidente. They're protecting the big cheese.
Oh, you mean the 50 cars that follow them around?
Yeah, there are probably just 50 drivers, bro. There's probably not even others in there. It's just some guy that they're like, hey, bro, you know what? There's a RS that I'm going to drive today. Check this out. No, it's ridiculous, dude. I'm just also very anti-police, and I don't believe in the conventional norm of the government. Yeah. So, like, even those things just, it doesn't make sense to me right from the get-go.